Let's talk about buying ergonomic equipment. I want to help you figure out what to buy and what to avoid. Before we get into assessing specific equipment, I want to suggest that you suspend your assumptions and determine what you need for your body. Determine the outcome that you want, and then you can decide on what things would serve that outcome. And then you can compare them objectively. It's a good practice to improvise for at least 6 days before you make any big purchases. Too often I hear how people never use their standing desks or have that deflated ball chair in the closet. Invest where your body and your brain need it the most, not what looks good. So some examples of some good choices would be active sitting chairs, wobble boards, sit-stand desks, monitor arms, glare-reducing curtains, lighting, good speakers, sound devices, headphones. Bad choices would be things like expensive office chairs, gaming chairs, big stationary desks or desks with lots of features. Let's talk about chairs now. I have some news for you. A chair is a chair is a chair is a chair. The impact on your body that a $100 Walmart chair versus a $2,000 Herman Miller office chair is the same. In terms of how they impact your physical health, they are the same. Let that sink in. It's important for you to know that if you buy a fancy office chair, you're paying for the way it looks and it feels. Any claim that it's ergonomic is just an empty claim. Remember the paradigm shift I introduced, Ergonomics 2.0, that our bodies need movement, not to sit longer. If we really want to be healthy and ergonomic, we create dynamic shifting of our body positions, not slumping into a cushiony office chair for longer periods of time. So go ahead and get a fancy chair if you want something that looks good, but don't let yourself believe that you're doing your body any favors. The better plan is to get a simple, affordable chair and use it for less than a third of your working day. And if you insist on spending more time in a chair, get an active sitting chair. An active sitting chair is a seat that allows for constant movement. The idea is that it mitigates the problematic issue with sitting. It does that by making a big difference in the way that you move through the day. It's worthwhile investment in your health if you spend a lot of time in your seat. So if you want to pick one, there's a big difference between simple ones and sophisticated ones. Sitting on a yoga ball or a cheap moving stool gives you some movement but no support. And that's the opposite of an office chair, which gives you support but no movement. Take it from a chiropractor. You need both support and movement. So my advice is this. If you only sit for short increments in the day, go ahead and get a simple active stool or a ball. Look into the very chair, the swapper, or any ball chair. If you sit for more than a couple hours, however, you need a seat that allows for movement but also provides support. I'd suggest you look into a 3D chair, or my personal favorite's a core chair. Desks. Now, desks are also just desks. The only conversation worth having about desks in the context of ergonomics is whether it moves. All other details are pretty much inconsequential. So if we compare sit-stand desks and regular desks, or answer the question, is it really worth it to get a standing desk? Our body is being strained when we sit. It's also being strained when you stand. So spending a lot of time doing either is straining on your body. If you alternate between the two, you reduce the strain on your body. You'll feel better. So sit-stand desks give you that advantage over regular desks, but only to the extent that you use them. So if you're shopping for one, make sure to get one that transitions easily. I find that manual cranks end up being a bit of a subconscious disincentive. So in summary, standing desks are helpful to significantly reduce the burden, the strain on your low back and your neck, but it's relative to the frequency of alternating between sitting and standing. So if you have one, wear out that motor. Now we'll talk about other helpful accessorizing. My favorite office accessory is a balance board. Balance boards are amazing if you spend any time standing to work. Really amazing. Your body doesn't love to stand still, and if you spend any time working at a standing desk, you know this. The right movement, or the right balance board, gives you just the right amount of movement so that it's not distracting from your work. Take a look at some balance boards. QB is a cycle device that I can put under my desk and just keep my feet moving if I'm spending a lot of time sitting at my desk. Those are pretty fun. Something when we're sitting also, a sit-fit cushion is just an air cushion that destabilizes the surface of your pelvis so that you're able to have a little more core movement when you're sitting. Those are pretty helpful and pretty cheap. Something else that's useful is a massage gun. I really like these. A bit of an indulgence, but really we're invariably, inevitably going to be building up tension in our body in certain areas throughout the day. And so if you have a massage gun or a similar device where you can work on it throughout the day incrementally to combat the cumulative buildup of strain, you're going to be doing yourself a big favor, feeling better in the long run. Other things you could look into would be Pomodoro work session timers or UV lights, good sound devices. That's ergonomic equipment for you.